Alright, so I got a Grom a couple summers ago. I was super stoked on it, but not stoked on some of the colors. I didn't like the gold forks and the silver foot pegs, so this is kind of a project of what I did and how I kind of screwed up at the beginning, but all in all it turned out. So here we go. So, while trying to get this shaft out, I've got this screwdriver stuck. So what I've done, after playing with it, I have put some threads on here. You can see a little better here. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a washer and just something else there to bang on from the other side. And I've got this wing nut that actually fits these threads pretty well. And I'm going to put this on here. And I don't even care if it cross threads because I want it on there good. It actually looks like it's not. And it feels pretty solid. I'll go all the way to there. So now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to take a long screwdriver and I'm going to bang it out from the other end. So I'm going to hit this here and try to hammer it out from that end. We'll see what happens. So the wing nut did not work, and now I've resorted to, those are still on there, but I've got a couple of vice grips here. And I'm hitting from that side here, and it is knocking these off. So I'm trying to think about what I'm going to do next. So I actually had to call my dad over and call in the big guns. We made this special tool, we put it on the end of that washer there, and we had to bang it out with a sledgehammer. Actually pretty hard. I wedged it in there like an idiot, but I'll never do that again. I'll normally use a bolt like I should have. On to the next piece was these silver foot pegs. I took them off, and I wanted to take them into this place that does powder coating. They gave me a choice of matte black or flat black. Well, I went with matte black, it just looked better. It's a pretty cool place actually. They do a lot of powder coating for like bikes and bike racks, kind of like railings for like buses and stuff like that. So I dropped them off. The guy was pretty nice, pretty quiet, but the shop was cool. Got a little shot of it there, and then I wanted to move on to the next part. After this, which was the exhaust, and I got it from Amazon. It was probably like under 200 bucks. Wasn't going to spend the money on an Apropovic or something. It's just a Grom. So here it is. Before I got it all painted, because I really didn't like how it was silver. It's kind of basic looking, and I wanted the bike black. So what I had to do is kind of put it all together and make sure it was, you know, like I wanted, and the springs would fit. And how to move on to kind of wrapping it up with some tape. Everyone likes to have things look clean, so it took me a minute to get this tape on here, just to how I wanted it, and then I just took it outside to start getting it painted, and it started to turn out pretty good. So I've got the exhaust here hanging on a wire, ready to paint. Here's the canister. We'll see how it looks when it's done. So I got this stuff from Amazon. It was just a primer and a black high temp paint. Worked out pretty good. So I've got the first coat of primer on here. You can see the gloss has gone away. So the black went on pretty smooth. Everyone knows how to spray paint, you know, just keep your 6 inches and kind of just mist it. I did a few coats and let it sit for about an hour before I did a couple of nice, good, thick coats. And it turned out pretty good. I got everything how I wanted it. This little wire kind of scratched the top of that mount, but it didn't really bother me that much. I liked the end of the canister there. It looked really good. And I was able to let it dry for a couple hours and then move on. So here's the old exhaust, really heavy. And now we've got the new exhaust all painted. So here's the foot pegs after being powder coated. They look a lot better. So I'm gonna put these pegs back where they go. So that's next. So I'm going to walk you through what I did here. Put this back together. So so that clips. Put the spring back in this so it's swinging. And I've put the circlip back on here, but I've just realized that this is on the wrong side of the shifter. So I'm gonna have to take this circlip back off and flip it. So I'll do that here real quick. Alright, so now that all the pieces are finished being coated and painted, I'm ready to put this thing back together. So I'll walk you through step by step on what I'm doing, but most of all I'm just going to be putting the foot pegs back on, the swing arm back together, and the new exhaust that's all painted black right back on there. So I've got the new exhaust on. Looks really good. What I had to do, the spacer it comes with, I had actually, this piece right here added the extra bushing. I had my toolbox for about 20 years, from high school actually. I actually made that little bushing for a go-kart. Anyways, got the new exhaust on. There was a clamp down here, mounting bolts right here. That's it. Now we're on to the next piece of putting these foot pegs back on. Alright, so now that I have the foot pegs back together and everything is working as it should, I've got the shifter and the shifter mechanism on here. All I gotta do is now put it back on here. I'm gonna put this through the swing arm and hopefully I don't get it stuck like last time. I'm not gonna put a screwdriver through this time. That was a dumb move. Never done that before. Should have stuck with a bolt. Anyways, gonna start putting this back on here and have it back together here in the next 20 minutes or so. Alright, so there's a couple other things that I don't like about this bike being not black. Now that I've got the exhaust on and the powder coated foot pegs, one last thing here is these gold forks. It really bothers me they're gold. They should just be black or inverted. It would be a lot better. I don't like the silver down here. So what I'm gonna do, well, first of all, I actually thought about painting it, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna powder coat it. Too much to take off. I wanted to leave them on. So now what I've done is I went online and I actually found them Blue Ridge decals. These are actually just pre-cut decals, and I'll be sticking them on here. I don't know how they exactly work, but I'm gonna find out here in a minute. And I'm gonna get a heat gun and put them on here, and you guys can watch and see how that goes. I'll kind of speed it up so you can kind of see the progress. So I do realize I don't like these red brake calipers. I'll probably end up making those black as well. I'll probably just do that high temp paint that I use on the exhaust. And then I think it's probably going to be good after that. Alright, so the Grom is done. I've got the foot pegs here all powder coated, all put back together. Got the exhaust on, looking good. And I've got my forks wrapped in black. Overall, I'm pretty excited about it. I do want to get a cover for right here that's all solid black. I can see that on a website I'm going to pick up. But overall, it looks good. It sounds good. I'm going to probably take it for a rip tomorrow and maybe make a video for you guys on that. But until next time, we'll see you guys later. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my videos. I will be doing some more Grom videos in the future, so I'd appreciate the follow.